All right, a bit of a shocker late last night in college basketball. Kentucky head coach John Calipari apparently packing his things up and moving in conference to the University of Arkansas. Him and the Razorbacks agreeing to apparently a 5-year, $8 million deal that will poach him away from the University of Kentucky. And this is a bit of a shocker. Now, we all know it was a tumultuous end of the season for the Wildcats, getting bounced in the first game to 14-seeded Oakland, making it the third straight year where they failed to make it out of the first weekend of the tournament. But Calipari, 15 seasons with the Wildcats, won a national championship, kind of revitalized a program that is historically one of the greats ever that was struggling. He's had massive amounts of success, lots of deep runs, but it's kind of fallen off since the pandemic. But all signs pointed to that he would be back for a 16th season with the Wildcats, him and the AD meeting like they do every year after the season. And it seemed like it was rocky. A lot of people were speculating. We did a video on it. It seemed like he was coming back, going to give it another ride. But now heading in conference to Arkansas, who is replacing head coach Eric Musselman, who went to USC. Now the Razorbacks, they had a really good run in the 90s, won a national championship, had another finals appearance, went to the Final Four a third time. So they were a really strong program, but they had fallen off since then. No Sweet 16 appearances since 96 until Musselman came in, went to 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16 since 2021. He had a humming program, but then they kind of fell off, didn't make the tournament this year. Now the Razorbacks are poaching Calipari away, who some say has lost his step, but he is a program builder, man. Calipari turned Memphis into a perennial program when he was there 9 seasons, got Kentucky back to where they used to be as a top school. And now he can do the same in Arkansas. He's also gotten the commitment from the top Arkansas athletics donor that they are going to be pumping money not only into the program, but into the NIL initiative so he can bring guys in. Calipari's Wildcats had the number 2 recruiting class coming in. He's talking about bringing those guys in from Kentucky to Arkansas. Wanted some deal to be more aggressive in the transfer portal. Maybe it shows. We know Calipari and the AD at Kentucky did not get along whatsoever. But if you're Kentucky, you got to feel okay. You kind of wanted to move on from him. Things had kind of soured. The relationship wasn't good. But you had signed him to a stupid lifetime contract that was ridiculously expensive to get out of. Now you're not going to have to deal with that. You're not going to have to pay that. And it frees up some cash. I mean, Kentucky's got more resources than pretty much anybody in the country when it comes to spending on basketball. They're going to try and bring in a high-flying guy. That's a big question mark. We're going to touch on that a little later. But what does this mean for Arkansas? I still think Coach Cal, he's 65 years old. He's getting up there in age, but he's still got it with him. I think he'll be able to turn around this Arkansas program very, very quickly. Like I said, they've had a lot of recent success, and he is well experienced in this conference. Now, it's a double-edged sword. Teams know him. They know how he likes to play. He is kind of this all-in on top high school guys who are one and done. Maybe he adjusts a little bit. Maybe, like I said, he gets more aggressive in the transfer portal. He bring in some older veteran guys, because that consistently seems to be the kind of teams that knock his teams out over the last few seasons. Teams with older veteran guys. His team is just super young. He's changing over the roster every single year, it feels like, to start the season. They have to build themselves up to tournament time. And then just like in an instant, they have a bad game. It's over for him. So I think maybe Cal is going to adjust, and he wasn't allowed to adjust at Kentucky, what his philosophy is going to be, because I still think he can coach. Now, a lot of people out there have been calling him out. He's gotten really lazy on the X's and O's side, but you really can't be as successful as he was in the SEC, which isn't the best conference in college basketball, but it's an elite athletic top tier conference when it comes to the sport of basketball, and it's been getting better the last few seasons. We look at Alabama, like I said, Arkansas, a lot of success. Obviously, Kentucky, Auburn's always good. It's a really, really solid conference from top to bottom. And I think this is a really good move for Arkansas. It's a big-time name. You're going to get a lot of money in. It seems like the football program's falling apart, but Jerry Jones is always going to be footing that bill on the football side of things. So now you go all in on basketball. Not a lot of schools have won a national championship in hoops Arkansas has, and they've been to another national championship game. So there's good history there. You should be able to recruit well. Great fan base overall, as much as I don't like Arkansas as a rival school in the SEC. I think this is an excellent move for them. But who is going to replace Calipari at Kentucky? This is a big question mark. Now, Kentucky, like I said, they're going to throw some cash around. A name that comes to mind, Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino said on Pardon My Take, he'd love to go back to Kentucky. He had a lot of success at Kentucky a long, long time ago. Maybe not that long ago, but for some of you young folks, probably didn't even know that, Rick Pitino. But he's kind of got St. John's turned around. I think he might want to do it there. That feels more Rick Pitino-y. Billy Donovan from the Bulls obviously won back-to-back national championships at Florida before transitioning into the NBA. I think it would be nice to see him go back into the college game, assert his dominance. I still think he can coach. It's just, the NBA is a different game and it's a lot harder. I still think that's an interesting name. Obviously, they're going to give Dan Hurley a call. Now, Dan Hurley could be cutting down his second straight net for a national championship tonight, and UConn's going to fork out. They're going to give him a new contract. Why would you ever leave UConn? It's becoming a new blood, not a blue blood, but it's a new blood in college basketball. Back-to-back national championships. You can pretty much do whatever you want there. They're not a football school. They don't have anything like that. So he's going to get all the resources he wants. Maybe split it with the ladies, but still, huge job for him. I don't think he's going to do that. What about Nate Oates? Nate Oates, another in-conference guy from Alabama, turned around the Crimson Tide program really fast, and they had a really nice run, got to the Final Four for the first time in school history this year. He's a solid coach. People really like him. He's kind of had a meteoric rise. He's grinded things out. They're very attracted to his coaching style, and I think he does a really good job getting in big recruits. He basically rebuilt the roster this year after having the #1 overall team last year. You see Brandon Miller in the NBA, #2 overall pick. So he's able to acquire those guys. I think that's a really interesting hire for Kentucky, but it is a big question mark. You're not quite sure what they're going to do here, but I feel like they brought this on themselves. Obviously, it's a little bit later in the cycle. Kentucky fans aren't too happy. They were clamoring for him to go, but when they thought he was coming back, now they're kind of pissed off. I know some people are happy out there, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think this is a good move for Arkansas? What is Kentucky going to do? Who is going to fill that head coaching vacancy? If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of cool perks. You get exclusive videos, early access to videos, help support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. Again, like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.